What narcissists secretly hope for after you leave. Have you ever truly stopped to consider what happens in the mind of a narcissist when you finally walk away? Do they feel regret, sadness, or any form of genuine loss? Or do they immediately shift into strategy mode, carefully plotting their next move in a desperate attempt to regain control? These are the questions that many people ask themselves when escaping a toxic relationship with a narcissist. And the truth? It's far more calculated than you think. Unlike emotionally healthy individuals, narcissists do not experience breakups the way normal people do. For most, the end of a relationship brings a period of self-reflection, personal growth, and even healing. But for a narcissist, a breakup is not about emotions, it's about power. When you leave, their first instinct isn't to grieve or take accountability. Instead, they begin running through an internal checklist, evaluating the best way to maintain control over you. In their world, relationships are not built on mutual love or respect. They are built on dominance, manipulation, and emotional dependency. And so when you finally break free, they don't see it as a loss of love, they see it as a challenge, a battle they refuse to lose. The question is, what exactly do they hope for once you leave? Do they sit back and accept reality, or do they carefully strategize their next move? Do they truly let you go, or do they work behind the scenes, setting traps designed to pull you back in? In this video, we're going to uncover the hidden hopes and calculated tactics narcissists rely on after you break free. We'll explore the mind games they play, the illusions they create, and the psychological warfare they engage in, all in an effort to maintain control over you, even from a distance. But most importantly, we'll reveal how you can protect yourself, ensuring that your escape is final and that you never fall into their manipulative traps again. If you're ready to reclaim your power and step into a life of true freedom, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Wisdom for more insights on breaking free from toxic relationships and embracing emotional resilience. Now, let's dive into what narcissists secretly hope for after you leave. 1. They hope you'll come crawling back. One of the first things a narcissist secretly hopes for after you leave is that you'll come crawling back. Without them having to put in any real effort, they don't want to do the work of self-reflection or make genuine amends. Instead, they expect you to return on your own, weighed down by doubt, loneliness, and emotional turmoil. To a narcissist, your departure is not a wake-up call for change. It's an inconvenience, a disruption to their control. In their mind, they have conditioned you to depend on them emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even financially. They assume that, without them, you will struggle, feel lost, and eventually convince yourself that leaving was a mistake. This belief stems from their inflated sense of self-importance. Narcissists genuinely believe they are the best thing that ever happened to you. They do not see the pain they caused, nor do they acknowledge the damage they inflicted. Instead, they rewrite the narrative, convincing themselves that they were your source of stability, excitement, and love. And if they were the ones to discard you, the expectation remains the same. They believe you will chase them, desperate for their validation, because in their mind, no one leaves them without regret. But narcissists don't just sit back and hope you'll return. They create psychological traps to pull you back in. The silent treatment, a calculated strategy. One of the first tactics they employ is silence. No calls, no texts, no interaction. Not because they don't care, but because they are testing you. They withdraw their presence in a strategic way, observing from the sidelines to see how long it takes before you break. At first, this silence may feel like a relief. You finally have space to breathe, to process, to reclaim your thoughts. But as time passes, you may start to question things. Why haven't they reached out? Do they really not care at all? Was I the one who overreacted? This is exactly what they want. Silence is a psychological weapon designed to make you spiral. Narcissists understand that many people crave closure, reassurance, or at the very least, acknowledgement of the relationship's end. By withholding communication, they create a void, one they hope you will feel compelled to fill. And if you do, if you send that text, make that call, or try to reconnect in any way, you have unknowingly played into their hands. This confirms to them that their power over you remains intact. It reassures them that, despite everything, you still care enough to reach out. And from there, they reset the cycle, manipulating the situation to their advantage. But if you resist the urge to reach out, that's when the real games begin. Escalating the manipulation, how they try to pull you back when silence alone doesn't work. Narcissists shift tactics. They can't afford to let you move on too easily, so they begin to manufacture ways to reinsert themselves into your life. They may casually appear in places they know you'll be. A coincidental run-in at the grocery store, a sudden presence in your social circles, or even unexpected messages through mutual friends. Post cryptic updates on social media. They craft vague, emotional posts, just enough to make you wonder if it's about you. Use a crisis to provoke a response. Suddenly they have an emergency, an illness, a financial struggle, or an emotional breakdown. They create a situation that makes you feel obligated to check in. These tactics are deliberate. They are designed to play on your emotions, creating doubt, guilt, and a lingering sense of attachment. At this stage, many victims fall into the trap. They mistake the narcissist's attempts as signs of regret or change. They begin to wonder if walking away was the right choice. But here's the reality. If someone truly values you, they don't wait for you to crawl back. They don't play mind games. They don't test how much suffering you can endure before you seek them out. A narcissist's silence is not about growth, it's about control. Their games are not about love, they're about power. And the only way to truly break free? See through the manipulation. Recognize their silence for what it is, a calculated ploy to keep you emotionally tethered. Because once you refuse to play their game, once you stand firm in your decision to leave, they lose the very thing they crave most, control over you. 2. The closure trap, a fake apology to lure you back when the sweet words and grand gestures fail to break your resolve. A narcissist shifts tactics. They move to what I call the closure trap, a calculated attempt to draw you back in under the guise of maturity and resolution. They'll suddenly reappear, acting calm, reflective, and even remorseful. Their messages seem rational, considerate, almost noble. We owe it to each other to talk one last time. I just want to explain myself so you have full closure. Let's end things on good terms. It's the least we can do. Sounds reasonable, right? After all, healthy relationships end with mutual understanding and respect. But this isn't a healthy relationship, and this isn't about closure, it's about access. Why narcissists use the closure trap. A narcissist doesn't seek closure in the way you might. They don't want to bring peace to the situation, clear up misunderstandings, or part ways with mutual respect. No, their goal is simple: to regain control over your emotions. They understand that you, as an empathetic and self-reflective person, might genuinely crave closure. You want to understand why things happened the way they did. You might feel a lingering sense of guilt, confusion, or even hope that this final conversation will bring clarity. And they use that against you. Their apology isn't real, it's a performance, a carefully staged act designed to disarm you and make you let your guard down. The moment you engage, the moment you agree to talk, the trap is sprung. How the conversation plays out at first, they may seem composed, even humble. They might admit to a few minor faults, giving you just enough to believe they're being honest. I know I wasn't perfect, and I made some mistakes. I could have handled things differently, and I regret that. But soon, the conversation takes a familiar turn. They subtly start rewriting history. Suddenly, the blame shifts in your direction. I only acted that way because you pushed me. You misunderstood my intentions. I was trying to help you. If you had just been more patient, things wouldn't have ended this way. What started as an apology turns into manipulation. They might even introduce doubt into your mind, making you question whether leaving was the right choice. They'll remind you of the good times, hoping nostalgia clouds your judgment. We had something special. Are you really ready to throw that away? You and I both know we have a connection unlike anyone else. No one will ever understand you the way I do. If you resist, they may shift tactics again, playing the victim. They'll paint themselves as the wounded party, hoping guilt will pull you back in. I just needed you to believe in me. I was struggling, and you abandoned me. I thought you loved me, but I guess I was wrong. And just like that, a simple conversation about closure turns into a psychological minefield. The hard truth, you don't owe them closure. It's natural to want closure. But closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you. It comes from accepting the truth, not reopening old wounds. It comes from letting go of the fantasy that they'll suddenly change or give you the resolution you deserve. The reality is, a narcissist doesn't give closure, they take it. They prolong your pain by keeping you emotionally entangled. And if you give them that one last conversation, it rarely ends there. How to protect yourself. If you truly want to break free, you must resist the urge to engage. That means block their number. Don't leave the door open for manipulation. Ignore their messages. No response is the best response. Delete their social media. You don't need to see their carefully curated lies. Remind yourself why you left. Write it down if you have to. Most importantly, understand this. Closure is a gift you give yourself. By refusing to engage, by choosing to move forward without their validation or explanation, you reclaim your power. You break free on your terms. Their worst nightmare, a A narcissist's worst nightmare isn't you arguing with them. It isn't you trying to explain your side. It isn't even you getting angry. Their worst nightmare is your indifference. When you walk away and never look back, when you refuse to let their words or actions shake your confidence, you prove to them that they no longer have power over you. That's real closure, and it's something they'll never be able to take away. 3. Faking a perfect life to make you regret leaving. Ever checked their social media after leaving and felt a pang of doubt? Suddenly, they're living their best life. New relationship, exotic vacations, expensive gifts, nonstop fun. Every post is a picture-perfect highlight reel. It seems as though they've completely moved on, thriving, happier than ever, effortlessly enjoying life without you. And for a moment you wonder, was I the problem? Did I make a mistake? Were they really that bad, or was I overreacting? That's exactly the reaction they're hoping for. The reality behind the facade. Here's the truth. It's all a lie. What you're seeing isn't happiness. It's a carefully constructed illusion, a staged performance designed to serve one purpose, to make you regret leaving. Narcissists curate this perfect life for 3 main reasons: to make you feel like you were the problem. If they appear happier without you, maybe you'll start questioning whether you were the toxic one. To stir jealousy, regret, or insecurity. Seeing them with someone new, traveling, celebrating, and seemingly glowing with joy might make you doubt yourself. To convince others and themselves that they've won. A narcissist thrives on control and superiority. If they can make it seem like they came out on top, they feel like they've beaten you. But look deeper and you'll see the cracks. The grand gestures, overcompensating. The new relationship, just another cycle waiting to repeat itself. The non-stop happiness posts, a distraction from their own emptiness. Why narcissists need to fake happiness? A healthy person moves on in silence. They heal, reflect, and genuinely grow. A narcissist? They need an audience. True peace doesn't need to be broadcasted. But for a narcissist, external validation is everything. They aren't focused on healing or self-improvement. They're focused on proving a point to you, to their followers, and to themselves. They don't want to be seen as the one who lost. And because their ego can't handle rejection, they go into damage control mode. They can't accept that you walked away and are doing better without them. So they create a spectacle, a carefully edited performance to make it seem like their life is flourishing. But here's what they don't want you to know. They haven't changed. The toxic cycles, the manipulation, the selfishness, it's all still there. They just hide it better online. Their new relationship isn't better, it's just new. And it will follow the same pattern: love bombing, devaluation, discard. They're repeating the same script with a new person. They're still chasing control. If they truly moved on, they wouldn't need to make sure you saw how happy they are. How to see through the illusion when you find yourself tempted to compare your healing journey to their staged happiness. Remember this: social media isn't real life. What they post is a highlight reel, not the full picture. That smiling couple photo, you don't see the fights behind closed doors. That luxury trip, you don't see the financial debt they're hiding. That new soulmate, you don't see the manipulation already beginning. The narcissist isn't winning, they're performing. And the real reason they're putting on this show? Because they hope you're still watching. How to protect yourself from their manipulation? The best way to break free from this illusion: stop looking, unfollow, block, and remove them from your digital space. You don't need daily reminders of their staged life. Refocus on your own growth. Their goal is to keep you emotionally hooked. Your goal should be to detach completely. Remind yourself why you left. Behind the filtered photos and grand gestures is the same toxic person you walked away from. Most importantly, don't fall into the comparison trap. Healing happens offline. True happiness is quiet. Your journey isn't about proving anything to them. It's about rediscovering yourself. The best revenge is living well. A narcissist's worst fear isn't losing you. It's you realizing you never needed them in the first place. They want you obsessed with their life, trapped in a cycle of doubt and regret. But your greatest power? Indifference. When you stop checking their social media, stop wondering about their life, and start focusing on your own growth, you win. Not because you're trying to, but because you've truly moved on. And nothing terrifies a narcissist more than knowing they no longer have power over you. So instead of falling into their illusion, build something real. Focus on your healing. Strengthen your boundaries. Create a life that feels fulfilling without needing to prove anything to anyone. That's the real victory. And that's something they will never be able to fake. 4. The smear campaign. When they can't win you back, they try to destroy you if seduction and guilt don't work. A narcissist's next move is revenge. They can't stand losing control over you. They can't accept the idea that you walked away and stayed away. So when they realize they can't lure you back with charm or manipulation, they resort to something more insidious, a smear campaign. This isn't just petty gossip. This is a calculated character assassination designed to isolate you, turn others against you, and make you question your own reality. How the smear campaign begins at first, you might not even notice it happening. Maybe a friend starts acting distant. A family member gives you strange looks. Colleagues who used to be warm suddenly seem cold. Then you start hearing whispers. I heard they were impossible to deal with. They were so controlling in that relationship. I never knew they could be so toxic. And suddenly, you're the villain in a story you never wrote. But here's the truth. This isn't about you. This is about the narcissist losing control. When they can't manipulate you anymore, they manipulate the people around you. Why narcissists smear your name? A narcissist can't handle losing, especially not to someone who was supposed to be under their control. So they rewrite the narrative. If they can't be the hero, they'll play the victim. And if they can't be the victim, they'll make sure you're seen as the villain. The smear campaign serves 3 key purposes. Damage control. If they destroy your reputation first, they prevent you from exposing the truth about them. Punishment. They want you to suffer for daring to leave. They want to see you isolated, doubting yourself and feeling betrayed. Regaining power. If they can turn people against you, they can still influence your emotions, keeping you trapped in their toxic orbit, even from a distance. And they don't do it alone. The role of flying monkeys, a narcissist rarely fights alone. Instead, they recruit enablers, people who unknowingly or knowingly help them carry out their agenda. These people are called flying monkeys, a term inspired by the Wizard of Oz, where the Wicked Witch controls her winged minions to do her bidding. These enablers could be mutual friends who believe the narcissist's lies and turn against you, family members who pressure you to make amends for something you didn't do, CO workers or acquaintances who spread rumors without questioning the source. And the worst part? Some of them genuinely think they're doing the right thing. They don't realize they're being used as pawns in the narcissist's revenge game. How to protect yourself. The first instinct when faced with lies and betrayal is to defend yourself, to explain, to correct the record, to prove the truth. Don't. This is exactly what the narcissist wants. They want you to react, to fight back, to engage, to show that you're affected. Because the moment you do, they win. So what should you do instead? Stay silent. Silence is your most powerful weapon. Without your reaction, their lies lose momentum. Let the truth reveal itself. People who truly know you will see through the manipulation. Those who believe the narcissist were never really on your side. Detach completely. Block, unfollow, and cut off any access they have to you. If they can't reach you, they can't control you. Focus on your own integrity. Keep living your life. Your actions will always speak louder than their words. Because here's the thing about lies, they eventually crumble. The smear campaign is a sign of your strength. It might not feel like it, but the smear campaign is actually proof that you're winning. Think about it. If you were truly the weak, unstable person they claim you are, why would they need to go to such great lengths to destroy you? They fear you. They fear what happens when you break free from their narrative. They fear your strength, your resilience, and most of all, your truth. The best response is no response. A narcissist thrives on control. They want to own the story. But the real story? You're free. You escaped. You're no longer under their influence. And the most powerful thing you can do? Let them talk. Let them spread their lies. Let them exhaust themselves trying to ruin you. Because in the end, the truth always wins. And the people who truly matter, they'll see right through the facade. 5. They secretly hope you're miserable. Without them, the ultimate narcissistic fantasy? You're regretting leaving. They don't want you to move on. They don't want you to heal. They don't want you to wake up one day, look around at your life, and realize that you're finally free. No, what they truly crave is your suffering. In their mind, you're supposed to be lost, broken, desperate to return, not because they actually care about you, but because your pain validates their importance. While your misery feeds their ego, a narcissist's self-worth doesn't come from within. It comes from control. They need to believe they were the best thing that ever happened to you. They need to imagine you aching for them, regretting the day you ever walked away. Because the alternative, the idea that you could be thriving without them, that you could be happier, stronger, more fulfilled now that they're gone, that's unbearable to them. So what do? They rewrite history. They tell themselves that you'll never find someone like them again. They convince themselves that you're secretly struggling, even if you're not. They create a narrative where they were your greatest gift, and you were the one who ruined everything. Because to accept the truth, that they were the problem, that they were toxic, that they held you back, would mean facing their own flaws. And narcissists don't do self-reflection. How they try to keep you stuck even after you've walked away. They'll look for ways to keep you emotionally hooked. Subtle check-ins. They might send random messages. Hope you're doing okay, not out of concern, but to gauge your reaction. Guilt tactics, they might remind you of the good times, hoping to trigger nostalgia and self-doubt. Fake concern, they might ask mutual friends about you, planting the idea that they still care. Posturing, they might act like they've completely moved on, parading a new relationship to make you feel like the one who lost. Everything they do is designed to make you question yourself, to make you wonder if leaving was a mistake. Because the moment you doubt yourself, they win. The truth they don't want you to realize, here's what they don't want you to see. You were never actually free when you were with them. You were controlled, manipulated, and emotionally drained. The love you gave was never truly reciprocated. It was used as leverage to keep you attached. You didn't leave because you were weak. You left because you were strong enough to recognize your worth. That's what terrifies them. Your healing is their greatest fear. How to break free completely. The best revenge isn't anger. It isn't confrontation. It's indifference. A narcissist thrives on emotional reactions, whether it's love, hate, sadness, or anger. As long as you're reacting, they still have a hold on you. But when you stop caring, when their name no longer stirs up pain, regret, or even resentment, that's when you truly win. So instead of wasting energy wondering what they're thinking, channel that energy into yourself. Heal, process what happened, not to dwell on the past, but to ensure you never repeat it. Grow, become stronger, wiser, and more aware. Use this experience to level up, not break down, rebuild. Step into the life they tried to convince you couldn't have. Because here's the truth, you were never the one who was lacking. They needed you far more than you ever needed them. Your freedom is their worst nightmare. A narcissist can't stand to see you happy without them. They wanted to be the center of your world, the force that dictated your emotions, the person who controlled your highs and lows. But now you're free. You've reclaimed your power. You've broken the cycle. And nothing terrifies them more than the realization that you don't need them anymore. So keep moving forward. Keep building. Keep thriving. Because the best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's proving yourself right. And that's something no narcissist can ever take away. They secretly hope you're miserable without them. The ultimate narcissistic fantasy? You regretting leaving. They don't want you to move on. They don't want you to heal. They don't want you to wake up one day, look around at your life, and realize that you're finally free. No, what they truly crave is your suffering. In their mind, you're supposed to be lost, broken, desperate to return. Not because they actually care about you, but because your pain validates their importance. Why your misery feeds their ego. A narcissist's self-worth doesn't come from within, it comes from control. They need to believe they were the best thing that ever happened to you. They need to imagine you aching for them, regretting the day you ever walked away. Because the alternative, the idea that you could be thriving without them, that you could be happier, stronger, more fulfilled now that they're gone, that's unbearable to them. So what do? They rewrite history. They tell themselves that you'll never find someone like them again. They convince themselves that you're secretly struggling, even if you're not. They create a narrative where they were your greatest gift, and you were the one who ruined everything. Because to accept the truth, that they were the problem, that they were toxic, that they held you back, would mean facing their own flaws. And narcissists don't do self-reflection. How they try to keep you stuck even after you've walked away. They'll look for ways to keep you emotionally hooked. Subtle check-ins, they might send random messages. Hope you're doing okay, not out of concern, but to gauge your reaction. Guilt tactics, they might remind you of the good times, hoping to trigger nostalgia and self-doubt. Fake concern, they might ask mutual friends about you, planting the idea that they still care. Posturing, they might act like they've completely moved on, parading a new relationship to make you feel like the one who lost. Everything they do is designed to make you question yourself, to make you wonder if leaving was a mistake. Because the moment you doubt yourself, they win. The truth they don't want you to realize, here's what they don't want you to see. You were never actually free when you were with them. You were controlled, manipulated, and emotionally drained. The love you gave was never truly reciprocated. It was used as leverage to keep you attached. You didn't leave because you were weak. You left because you were strong enough to recognize your worth. That's what terrifies them. Your healing is their greatest fear. How to break free completely. The best revenge isn't anger. It isn't confrontation. It's indifference. A narcissist thrives on emotional reactions, whether it's love, hate, sadness, or anger. As long as you're reacting, they still have a hold on you. But when you stop caring, when their name no longer stirs up pain, regret, or even resentment, that's when you truly win. So instead of wasting energy wondering what they're thinking, channel that energy into yourself. Heal, process what happened, not to dwell on the past, but to ensure you never repeat it. Grow, become stronger, wiser, and more aware. Use this experience to level up, not break down. Rebuild, Step into the life they tried to convince you couldn't have. Because here's the truth, you were never the one who was lacking. They needed you far more than you ever needed them. Final thoughts. Take back your power. A narcissist can't stand to see you happy without them. They wanted to be the center of your world, the force that dictated your emotions, the person who controlled your highs and lows. But now you're free. You've reclaimed your power. You've broken the cycle. And nothing terrifies them more than the realization that you don't need them anymore. So keep moving forward. Keep building. Keep thriving. Because the best revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's proving yourself right. And that's something no narcissist can ever take away. Narcissists don't love, they don't change, and they don't let go easily. But here's the truth, you don't need them. Every tactic they use, whether it's guilt, manipulation, or revenge, is designed to trap you. But you're not trapped anymore. The power is, and always has been, in your hands. So, if this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic Wisdom for more insights to help you reclaim your life. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, keep moving forward.